And live. Hello, Armand. Looking sharp again this week.
Another working day.
Live stream. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to a few of you. Welcome to today's community briefing. It is the 30th of March and the very end of first quarter or Q1. And it's amazing. It just seems like not too long ago, it was the holiday season and Christmas. And as I mentioned last week, there's some guys down on Crenshaw. They're selling ARCs. So if you need to get your animals 2x2 and your family members, I think this is the last rainstorm that we're going to have here in Southern California for a little bit. So, but we definitely needed it. So again, welcome to today's community briefing. My name is Gregory Sneed. Name of my company is Lifesaver Financial Services. I help my clients to keep more of the money they make, and I do that through life insurance solutions, personal financial coaching, and financial literacy training, because I firmly believe that when you feel better about your money, you feel better about your life. And now, it's my pleasure to welcome to the virtual stage the queen of our community briefing, Miss Crystal Mitchell.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to have you all here once again. Welcome to the community briefing, the place to be every Thursday at 11 a.m., the place you will meet your leaders and stakeholders who have great information to share with us. The community briefing was inspired by me during the pandemic to make sure we understood and knew where all of the information that was pertinent to us during the pandemic, such as where the money was and how we could access that money and where the resources were to make sure that we were able to survive doing that. And then it just kind of took a life of its own. And so we have this fantastic team with with Stephen Turner and Greg Sneed and Robin Billups. And so we are happy to continue to bring it to you. Our sponsors with Los Angeles LDC, it is co-sponsored and powered with the Recycling Black Dollars and the Black Business Association, and our monetary sponsors are Southern California Edison, SoCal Gas, Wells Fargo, and PCR. And we have some other sponsors that are actually donations from the community here. So we want to thank you all for supporting the organization. And then we have guests that come every week. So we want to thank you guys. And we have these amazing guests like Ms. Sharon Coleman, who's going to be here to share with us about her amazing career. Again, women that are in a career that is predominantly a male dominant industry is absolutely amazing to me. So she's rounding out Women's History Month to just talk to us about her illustrious career. So we want to thank you. Again, my name is Crystal Mitchell. I am the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, as well as I co-host another podcast called The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. And so I'm a business coach, and I do a lot of business coaching for most of the majority of the Black organizations in the community. So with that, I am going to turn it back over to Mr. Gregory Sneed.
All right. So today, our guest is Sharon D. Coleman, and she'll share with us what the D stands for. Is it Diane?
No, it's Denise.
I started to say Denise. That's what I should. You always go with your first year. I started to say Denise, and then I changed it right at the last minute. Okay, Sharon Denise Coleman, and she is president and owner of Coleman Construction Inc. And she is a license holder. She started off in her late teens doing work in construction area. She started the company with a combination of small savings and construction projects. Before that, she worked with a company that owned insurance public adjusting firm, and she was the lead estimator and key content for clients. And then she got her license. She left that adjusting firm and she started with her contractor's license. And before that, she had built up relationship with clients. And as their insurance claims came in, she was there to help them in construction. and she continued to invest her money into the business. She didn't go out and run out and buy all these fancy shoes and red bottoms and Coach bags and stuff like that. She invested in her business, and so now she did work for the Los Angeles Army Corps of Engineers. She was part of an SBA program, which started doing government work in the states of Kentucky and Georgia, Washington, Florida, and South Carolina. Looks like she currently has offices here in California and in Kentucky. Is that correct?
No, just here now.
Just here now? Okay. So that's where in Kentucky was it? Was it Louisville?
Clarksville.
Clarksville. Okay. All right. And so she specializes in rough carpentry, masonry, site concrete, drywall, metal studs, painting, acoustical ceiling tile, flooring, and demolition. So I have no idea where she went to school. That's not in her bio, so she'll share that with us. I have no idea where she grew up, so she'll share that with us as well. So without further delay, please welcome to the virtual stage, Sharon Denise Coleman.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's see. I went to school. I actually was born in New York, but I actually went to, I came here as a teen in Los Angeles. So I went to the good schools, Audubon and Dorsey High. I did my 2 years at Southwest College and then came out and did a business program through Loyola Marymount to get my BA degree.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Where in New York did you grow up?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, that's it.
Brooklyn
yeah,
girl.
Brooklyn in the house, Crown Heights.
Oh, Brooklyn girl.
Yeah. There's a friend of mine from Buffalo. He says, I'm from New York. Yeah, he's not from New York. He's from Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I know Crystal too.
So although I love New York, I can only do it as a visit. I can't do it as I don't think I would ever be able to live in New York. I done got too used to the California weather. So I'm also the president of the National Association of Minority Contractors, the national of the Southern California chapter. The National Association of Minority Contractors is the oldest minority trades organization in the United States. It is a nonprofit that represents millions of skilled minority workers and contractors through local chapters. I think we have 23 chapters throughout the United States working on strategic partnership and strategic and corporate partnerships. NAMC basically works to build the capacity of our members by providing access to opportunities, advocacy, and contractor development training. NAMC National was established in 1969, and this particular chapter, Southern California, was established in 1996. So we have been around here in Los Angeles, and we have quite a few corporate partners that support us, mainly a lot of large construction firms.
Cool. So this is it's an open forum for you. Generally, you would share with us for about 15 minutes or so about your business. What the opportunities are for in construction in general for people of color, for women specifically. Some of the plans and things that you're doing now, and what's the future? What's coming up?
Well, what I'll start with, I think when you guys asked me to come on, you guys wanted me to talk about the bipartisan infrastructure bill that was passed and how it's going to affect people overall. So the Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act is a piece of legislation that was passed by the U.S. Congress signed into law by President Joe Biden in November, I think November 15th, 2021. And that bill provides 1.2 trillion in funding for a wide range of infrastructure projects across the country, including roads and bridges, airports, public transportation, and broadband internet. This Infrastructure Investment Act is considered a major bipartisan achievement. It was something that was supported by both the Democrats and the Republicans, and the bill is expected to create millions of jobs and modernize the country's infrastructure, which is in need of success. But I can't even talk, and you guys have to excuse me, I have a cold. Our country is in need of investment for many, many years. The legislation includes several key propositions, including 110 billion for roads and bridges, 66 billion for passenger and freight and rail, and 65 billion for broadband internet, 55 billion for water infrastructure, and another 39 billion for public transit. And that bill includes electrical charging stations, airport improvement, and investment clean energy. So this represents a huge future for the United States, and it's expected to have a major impact on the country's economy and infrastructure for decades to come. Now, let's see, is it a real opportunity, or is it just another program with good intentions? I would say from my understanding, the real opportunity is in the significant investment in the United States in the infrastructure. The bill provides a substantial amount of funding for a wide range of infrastructure projects, and it is expected to create millions of jobs across the country. And one of the key strengths of the bill, which suggests that there's a broad agreement for political spectrum and need for significant investment in the country's infrastructure. But like any other major program, this Infrastructure Act will face a bunch of challenges and obstacles. And there still are many debates on which projects should receive funding. And there are many disagreements on how this money should be allocated and or managed. However, the bill proves that there's significant opportunity for the United States to modernize and improve its infrastructure, create jobs, and position itself for future growth. So, is it good for Black businesses? And I'm going to talk only from Southern California, because our national office is fighting with DOT nationally, because there are many states that is nowhere near meeting their DBE goals on their transportation projects currently. And a lot of those transportation projects that they have major problems with are in the African-American community. We hear all the time about all of the water problems that we are having. Those are affecting African-American families. And so I can only speak for California. We know we have a bigger issue across the United States. So how will that bipartisan bill affect us here, Black businesses in California? One key way Black businesses will benefit from the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act is by being certified with Caltrans or LA Metro or both agencies. And both agencies are looking to increase their DBE goals. Both agencies need more African-American business to sign up in order to take advantage of these opportunities. I currently sit on the Metro Transportation Business Advisory Council as vice president, and we meet monthly to ensure that there are opportunities available for DBEs. I also sit on the Caltrans District 7 Los Angeles district. They too are trying to increase their DBE opportunities. NEMC is working with our members to build their capacity so they can take advantage of the bidding and winning of these contracts on this infrastructure project bill. The bill provides a significant funding for roads and bridges and water infrastructure and other construction projects. Black-owned businesses really need to compete for these contracts, just like any other business. The bill provides provisions to encourage hiring of local workers, also underrepresented communities, and would also increase additional job opportunities for Black-owned business and their employees. In addition, on bidding on contract, Black-owned businesses can also take a benefit from the bill's provision by getting small business assistance. This bill provides funding for small business development centers, centers similar to Vermont Slauson Economic Development Center or PACE, just to name a few. And they provide training and counseling and other support to entrepreneurs and small businesses, and that support also helps grow Black businesses and expand their operations, potentially leading to more opportunities to bid on the infrastructure projects and other contracts. Now, the bill also provides funding for broadband internet infrastructure. And for a Black-owned company to take advantage of that, they need to register with the Supplier Clearinghouse in order to be able to bid on some of the technology and the e-commerce and the online marketing that will take place to improve the broadband internet, and that could help businesses reach new customers, expand their online presence, and grow their business. So overall, the infrastructure bill here in Southern California can only help Black businesses if they're certified to do business with the agencies that will be providing these particular opportunities. And like I said, again, it is certified with Caltrans, certified with LA Metro, certified with California Clearinghouse to take advantage of these opportunities. Now, California, from the bill, which was signed by our Senate in August of 2021, is providing for roads and bridges. California itself gets $7.5 billion. For public transportation, California is due to receive $10.2 billion. For water infrastructure, $8.3 billion, and for broadband, $2.6 billion. So there are opportunities for African Americans to get this work. They just have to be certified with the right agencies, be prepared to grow their capacity and move forward in that way. So that's what I was asked to talk about. I can also talk about my business. My business is a company that's been around almost 30 years, and we do a lot of tenant improvement projects throughout Los Angeles right now. We'll be doing work on the Intuit Stadium soon. And we're doing some other, we do a lot of tenant improvement work with a lot of large contractors, say Swinnerton and not PCL, but Swinnerton and Hensel Phelps, different things like that. And so our whole group is basically to make sure we like to take care of our customers. And that's why we've been here for so very long. You guys have any questions for me?
Yeah, can you share a little bit more about a tenant improvement program? What is that? What does that involve?
Tenant improvement is the other word. If you had a house, you go house remodel. So tenant improvement is to report. Tenant improvement means to improve a commercial structure. You don't remodel it, you improve it. So tenant improvement.
Got it. It's not if you got bad tenants and you're trying to make them pay on time and act better.
No. In commercial, they call it tenant improvement. For residential, they call it remodel.
Got it. So you have certain specialties. I think we covered some of that. What are you going to be doing for the Intuit project? Is that sort of more the interior or drywall, or what does that involve?
Actually, we'll be installing the seats.
Installing the seats. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And how many seats are there?
Oh,
Like 15,000, something like that, or
something like that.
oh,
Yeah.
that's a lot. At least they come in rows, I think.
Yes. No, they're gonna be they install individually.
Wow. Okay.
So no rows, just individual seats. We're gonna have to assemble and put them seats together.
Share with us some other projects that you've done maybe over the last 5 years, just one or two, just to kind of give us an idea of some of the projects.
Well, we're a rough carpentry subcontractor, so mainly what we do is foundational framing. So we did them. We framed out all the foundations for the Metro Yard for Hensel Phelps, and all the rough we did the foundation, and Hensel Phelps poured their own concrete. And then we built some huge rainwater runoff for the Gerald Desmond Bridge under Shimmick. So they're really huge, like 40 feet, almost 40 feet long, 25 feet deep. So to catch the water rain off. So, and then we do a bunch of sidewalks for the city of Los Angeles.
How do you get your contractors? They're not on staff, they're hired based per project?
Per project.
Yeah.
Per project.
So how is there, do you advertise or post things directly, or how do you get the contractors to help on your projects?
It really depends on the job. I try and use contractors that are in our database with NAMC to make sure we spread the love. If I can't pick up a trade, then I normally between my staff and I, we probably know somebody else who we can hire and bring in. Or it could be somebody I met at a networking event, because I go to a bunch of networking events.
What percentage of your contractors are female or women, since we're in Women's History Month? And is that staying static? Is it increasing, decreasing? Where's the future of that going?
We have more women coming into construction. I used to team with a female electrician, but she went out of business. So I'm looking for another opportunity to work with another woman.
In terms of electrical, or just a female
just period.
Contractor?
Just
right.
Period.
And then the workers themselves, how is the split there? Is it still predominantly men? Are women 10%?
My workers are predominantly men. Predominantly men. I see a question here. Is that for me to answer? Hold on a second.
Well,
Go to my chat.
chat
I
questions.
didn't open up my chat. So
So
somebody, Crystal wants to know what inspired me
What inspired you to become
to
a
become
yeah?
a contractor.
Mhm.
The funny part is when I was in college, I told my mom had a friend who did construction, and told him, he's like, "What's Sharon doing today?" I said, "I'm going to look a job for her. I got a job for her." And so he was like, "No, no." So what he actually hired me for is to be his project manager. At the time, I call it a babysitting job, but I was his project manager because I didn't know construction. But later on, I learned what I was doing was project managing. And he would take me to his jobs, tell me what trades were doing what, when they finish, what they do next. And he basically taught me how to manage a job. And I fell in love with construction at that time, but I had a grandmother, who had been a maid all her life, and she didn't think that a woman could run a construction company because she had never seen one. So she basically insisted that I go get a real job with benefits. And so I went into the real world and I worked. And back in the 90s, I was working for Xerox and got laid off. And once I got laid off, I found each and every time I left a job, I did something in construction. I always found a way to go back to construction. And then when I got laid off in the 90s, I went to work with a public adjusting firm, and I was right back in construction. And that's when I decided to take my test and passed it to start my contractor's license.
what are some of the biggest challenges you're facing as a contractor? Is it still access to capital? Is it financing? Is it finding
Still access to capital.
Uh-huh.
But I would say the new avenues with the bill is opening up, because at one time, financing for contractors was taboo under some financing places, with your traditional banks. But now that we have all this infrastructure opportunities, it is opening up some new doors for people to get financing in order to take advantage of some of this work. And that's where you got to go, and you got to reach out to your small business development centers, your Vermont Slauson, PACE. They have special funding for that. And then
PCR.
some banks also.
I said PCR. We got to
And
get
PCR,
yes,
PCR too. PCR too.
Is it more challenging for you as those of the women construction companies as it is to men, or is it pretty much equal across the board for far as capital?
I can't tell you that. I'm not in the bank, so I can't tell you.
That's a Colette question, huh?
Yeah, who get more money, the men or the women? So I can't tell you that. I'm not in the banking world.
Speaking of Colette, she asked the question here: can you share more about how our community can get involved in the EV, electric vehicle development? What's happening there?
Let's see. I am working. Another company that I am working with is because it's a lot around this EV station, and I'm starting to hear about it. Well, I've been hearing about it, but I'm starting to hear about it more and more because I think I meet with this this other organization, and I'm trying to think of the name of it, because they got funding to try and help open up the door for more minorities to do the EV charging station. You have the Small Business Transportation Resource Center. They are really trying to push I meet with them and some representatives at Caltrans at least twice a month, because they too are trying to push more African Americans getting involved in the EV charging station.
Mm-hmm. Rick asked a good question here. What women certifications do you think are the most important? You know, specific certifications for women.
Here's the thing. Anybody who does a business, they got to know it, what they want. I can't tell you which is the best certification for you. It really depends on what kind of work you do.
Mm-hmm.
I just can tell you, if you want to do transportation work, you got to be registered with LA Metro. You got to be certified with LA Metro. If you want to do utility work, you got to be certified with the
clearinghouse.
The clearinghouse. So it really depends on what your work is, and that's where you certify at. Wherever you're good at, that's where you certify at. I just can't tell you to certify at one particular agency when we got so many different certified agencies doing different things.
Yeah,
Can I say something about that certification?
Sure,
one of the things, and she's correct, there's so many different certifications and government certifications, city, state, county. And one of the things we have to understand that get certified in as many groups as you can, because they ask for the same information. Basically, if you certify for one entity, then you certify for the other. And it's very important because all of these contracts are going to require certification, and there is no reciprocity. And that's something that we're working on, but it hasn't happened yet. So get certified as a city worker, utilities, government, all of those have different certifications, but they ask mainly for the same information.
I think that's good information. I think, and Rick, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he was more focused on certification as a women-owned business. So I think there's different certifications as a small business, there's minority business certification, and there's also women certification.
And that's what I'm referring to.
I put on a wig to get that women's grant, and it didn't work. So
no, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, same thing.
They wanted proof.
Sharon, how would we encourage more of our young people? Because I would imagine that we need to continue to fuel in the pipeline with more young people to be in the construction industry. What would be your messaging to young people to come into the construction industry on all levels, whether it's being an electrician, plumbing, whatever that is?
Well, there's so many, construction has so many different avenues. Like you said, you can be a plumber, you can be an electrician, you can be a carpenter, you can be a safety person. You can be a project manager, you can be the avenues is open everywhere for construction. I live centrally in LA, and I know a few of the colleges have very good construction programs. LA Trade Tech, for one, has an excellent construction program. LAUSD have a construction program for people 18 to 24. To learn, and all of the unions do a boot camp. So it's just a matter of, I went to the Carpenters Union because I'm signatory to the Carpenters. I went to the Carpenters Union just last week. They built a whole brotherhood for African-American contractors and to try and get more people in. And they give you a stipend if you attend the boot camp. So all the unions give free boot camps. LAUSD has a program that is probably free for 18 to 24. And then most of the colleges have a construction program. I know LAUSD has an excellent one. So there's so many opportunities. Please look into that.
Okay. I think there's some other questions, Greg.
Yeah, well, one of the questions here was from Rick is that what's the usual, if you're doing a lot of work for some of the cities or some of the government, what's the turnaround time for getting paid? Do you ever have to,
It-
get bridge between, because you're laying out money to do the work and then trying to you get paid? Is that getting better? Is it getting worse, or is it about the same? How does that work?
Well, we all know that these projects are being built on the small businesses who do the projects, but it really depends. If you work with the agency directly, you probably get paid faster than working under a large contractor. So it really depends on who your contract is with. Which agency? Some agencies pay 30 days, some agency pay 60 days. It really depends on your contract.
Well, I had another question here. What is the timing of the release of the projects and money for that infrastructure bill? That $1 trillion. I think that trillion, or 1 point something trillion, is paid over. I think it spans a 10-year period.
Yeah.
Not all at once.
Here's the thing. All of the agencies got most of them got bond money. So it has not, that money is on top of their bond money. So they like, we gonna run out. So, so it's a matter, if you're interested, getting certified and start bidding the projects. So it's out here ready for it to happen. So all of these agencies, especially Department of Transportation under Metro, they already got bond. Metro has bond money, period. And they get projects all the time. We send our members a 24-month look ahead on what projects Metro has coming down the pipe.
Is there any specific area that you think would be where there's a shortage of a particular trade that you would direct, plumbing versus electrical versus, you said you're doing a lot of foundational work, with building foundations, rough carpentry. Rough carpentry, I mean, is working with 2x4. Is there a fine carpentry? I guess that's more building things. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing: construction period is running into a deficit. The majority of the people that are doing construction are in their 50s and or 60s, and we don't have a slew of younger crews, younger individuals coming up behind them. We don't have a slew. And all across the United States, we have been told by experts that we are running into, we're going to run into a huge deficit, because it's going to be more work than it is contractors to be able to do it. So it behooves anybody, if they're interested in a trade or thinking about construction, it is a wonderful opportunity to grow yourself, either as a plumber, as an electrical person. It really doesn't make a difference what trade you in. There are opportunities there, because we're facing a shortage, period, all across the board.
Does the industry do anything, and maybe I miss it, in terms of promoting or making the construction industry seem appealing to our youth? I mean, they're, a lot of them trying to get a rap deal, and they're, they think they're going to be an NBA star or NFL, and that entertainer, dancer. They're chasing a lot of these opportunities, but the trades you mentioned are having boot camps. But it sounds like a lot of people aren't, our youth aren't getting to these boot camps, or are not, not participating. Or we had somebody come on here, and they went through all the training, and then they go to get the job. I think it was somebody from LAWA, and they show up, and then they don't pass the drug test. So
yeah, that was Turner when we were at the ULI, the marketplace last week.
Yeah.
Well, here a couple of things that you mentioned in there. Number one, people think that for whatever reason, since it's legal to smoke in California, that they think they can still smoke and get a job in construction. Two separate issues. Construction does not allow you, although you got your card and you can go get your weed, that does not mean that you can get your weed and work. Mm-hmm. Some places allow it, construction doesn't. So some people, that is a big misconception. Just because it's legal does not mean that companies is going to allow you to legally smoke and work. So in construction, there's no. And then also, I would say it still would be, you still have to find what your passion is. I heard somebody say, well, we gave this guy a job as a rebar guy and he didn't want to stay. I felt he was ungrateful. Well, rebar may not have been what he wanted to do. Just because you said he can do rebar, that does not mean that might have been the job that he wanted to do. You should have asked him what he wanted to do before you just threw him on there to make sure that's what he want to do. Each of us know you have to do what you like. If you don't do what you like, it ain't gonna, you're gonna half do it. So if you're not passionate about what it is that you are providing, then you're not gonna do your best. So you always have to make sure you truly inform that individual what this job is, what they will be doing, and see if that's something that they're interested in. If they're not interested in, no matter what you say, you ain't gonna get them to do it the right way.
And I think, Sharon, something you said who inspired you. So someone came to you and introduced you to the craft, to their craft, and you developed a love for that, right? And you kept coming back. No matter what pathway you went, you kept coming back because they planted that seed, they planted the love, and no matter what, that was where you were going. And I think what you're saying and what I'm hearing is that we need to, one, it's imperative that we encourage our young people at a very early age that the construction industry is a very viable industry to go into and can be a very lucrative career for them. That is just not a layman's in the trenches type of work, but that it actually can be a career. It could be your own business, like you've created your own business, an entrepreneurial endeavor, and that maybe some of our organizations out here that are focused on youth development and youth jobs and education, that should be maybe an initiative that we should be working on, especially if in the future we're going to have that major shortage. And if we're talking about legacy and generational wealth, I know our ancestors, those were some of the careers and occupations that they were involved in. So that's what I'm hearing from you, that we as a community and our organizations need to involve that. Now, let me ask this question. We're going to kind of wrap it up, but let me ask this question for NAMAC. Do you guys, and I know Bianca is on and she's in the construction industry, is there a mentorship program that you guys have, or maybe we could bridge that together? I work with kids in an entrepreneurship program with the Los Angeles Urban League. I know the Urban League has a construction program as well. Is there something that we can do that we can start mentoring these kids at an earlier age, maybe introducing them to the aspect of it, so that before they get into the weed smoking and all of that, or the diversion? I know the Brotherhood could say they have that kind of program. Maybe we need to take a more intentional, proactive approach before they go down other lanes and kind of show them the glamour or the potential of that industry.
Well, I've been involved in many programs. I do speak to junior high school and high school students, but you have a lot of the large primes like Turner, PCL, Swinnerton. They adopt a school and they go in and they adopt. At first, they started at high school, but they realized high school wasn't enough. So they go down as far as some schools, some programs go down as far as elementary, but they do trainings in construction trainings or have construction programs in junior high and high school.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
there are They are trying to introduce it much earlier because they realize it's going to be a deficit. So you do have people that are doing it on a regular basis.
Okay, maybe we can
Sharon,
get, I'm
I'm sorry.
sorry, Stephen, maybe we can get some of them on the program on the show as well to talk about those programs. And I would love to have them come to I do a biz camp, a summer biz camp for kids if with the Urban League, and maybe I can have some of them come out and talk to our kids about those programs, because the more we know, and I have a number of I work with an organization that we are teaching kids, Nifty, and we have hundreds of kids that we're involved in, and maybe we can have them come in for Career Day. Audubon has a Career
Good
Day.
idea.
Crenshaw has Career Day. Dorsey, Crenshaw, all of those schools have Career Days. Maybe we need to start introducing them and bringing them together.
That's a great idea. And Sharon, on behalf of all of us, thank you for coming on to Community Briefing. I know that you're on vacation after your birthday. And so for all of us, we wish you a happy belated birthday.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you.
In the few
Thank
minutes
you.
we have,
This is an honor and a pleasure. You guys have been my friends for, me and Steve have been knowing each other for 30 plus years. There's nowhere in the world I would miss this opportunity. So it was a great opportunity, and I wanted to make sure I'm here to serve you guys. I've been serving NAMC for a number of years, so this is just an extension of that.
okay,
Thank you.
great, thank you. And I guess in the last 10 minutes we have, we'd like to pass the mic over in not necessarily in order to Branka Vobecki, Ted Booker, and Colette. Branka Vobecki, get off of mute and tell us a little bit about.
I am off mute. Hi, Sharon.
Hi,
Sharon and I
Bianca.
go way back and enjoy working together. We're in NAMC together. So it's good to see you, Sharon. Always happy that we support each other. I always call you.
You got to scoot up.
Speak a little louder.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So what I wanted to say about the young people being trained in the construction industry, I think our people are the only ones that haven't got on the train. I mean, there's a lot of other communities that are getting on the train. The unions will take a high school child and start them off at $30 an hour plus full benefit. That is like more lucrative than IT or a lot of the other industries. What we need to do is glamorize this construction trade. Talk about the good parts of it. Like I dragged my son to a lot of events before he wanted to go into music. Now he's changing to construction. You show them like what, how their lives could be better. Show them how we work. I mean, starting from high school, getting a $30 an hour job, being trained by you, and that's what's full benefits. And then after the apprentices program, after 2 years, they could go up to $40 an hour. Some of the plumbers that I'm working with right now are getting paid about $80 an hour. So it is a very lucrative field to go into, but we have to teach our young people about it. We have to tell them about the money. We have to show them, hey, let's get excited about this. Why all the other communities are jumping into the union and learning their trades. After 5 years in a union, you're making about $50 an hour, and you have enough experience where you can start your own job, and you can start your own business. But we have to glamorize it. A lot of times we think of construction as dirty. It is not. It is not. I mean, most of the people I work with never get dirty, but they make a lot of money. So we need to teach that to our children any way we can, And again, I also, the question that came up about funding, about women or men getting funded. You know who's getting funded right now? People with good credit scores. So we have to get to our people and let them know, improve your credit. Don't worry about sitting around that they're not funding Black people or women. The people that are getting funded is credit score. You show the bank that you can pay that money back, you will get. Some of us don't have problems getting funding. Some of us are being asked is because we worked and we got our credit score high. So that's what we need to do. Spend that time. Go to PCR and some of these agencies and see, help me get my credit up. I was at an event yesterday where they help people get their credit up 50%, people of color, 50% to 100 score, 50 to 100 numbers up. That will change your life. You know, you cannot run a good business if you can't fund it. Almost every single thing that we apply for in our company, we've been around for 18 years. It's on my credit because I'm 100% owner. So if my credit is not good, I lose out. And I'm going to be paying a lot more on my interest on my credit cards. I can't get financing for my projects. So that's one of the things that I've learned from the beginning. Get your credit going. Forget about your color, your race. Okay. Right now, let's think about green and let's think about, you know, we won't need help if we can help ourselves, right? So that's how we have to train our youth. Yeah, keep your credit clean, you know, do everything correctly. And then, you know, when you have your business, you know, you'll be overflow instead of needing. That's, my opinion is that's what we need to teach our young people and also the new businesses.
Well, you know, Bianca, that's a good idea. And since the schools don't have the trades or the trades in the schools, because that's usually where children learn that, maybe we need to look at the Los Angeles Urban League and the Brotherhood Crusade and create those programs. And I absolutely agree. Make construction sexy, just like I make accounting sexy. That's how you get people in. But here's the other point, a part of that, and I absolutely agree with you. It's not talked about enough, right? I have a lot of friends in construction, but here's what I find that my grandfather and I have an uncle that built the city that my grandparents lived in. And what is sexy about that is when we go back to do a history walk around the city he lived in, his name is on every damn building in the city. That's what's sexy. And I have some friends of mine. I think when you can go back and say, I had a part in that building. I had a part in that building. My name is in that part of the building. I brought people. I did the plumbing in that building. That right there, you leave your legacy on the town that you live in. Those are the stories that we have to tell to our kids, because that means that you're an influencer in an area in the city that you live in. But if we're not telling them that story, that you got to talk to the kids in the vernacular that they understand. And so if you guys want to come to where I talk to kids, then I can make a space for you. And we can make sure that we get the kids in that space, because I'm all about that. But it's not being spoken to them in that language. And their parents are saying, I didn't work this hard for you to be in the trenches. That ain't the conversation we need to have. We need you to leave a legacy, and I want to see your name somewhere in that concrete. Leave your name on that building. That's what I want to see.
So Ted, how can you follow that up with a brief comment?
Well, this is all great. I work for a nonprofit which supports a lot of this activity. It's called Lamont Institute. I'm the Business Development Grants Manager. And the largest population that we serve are those folks that are formerly incarcerated. So many of in construction is one of the industries that is forgiving of criminal records. So a lot of folks that are formerly incarcerated go to instruction. I could help. I have behavioral health, peer navigation, housing navigation, substance abuse recovery support, employment readiness for folks that may need it. I could get a person in permanent housing. I could pay their rent, their security deposit, and give them support for rental assistance for a year while they get on their feet in construction. It's a boost. And for us, but on the youth services, I have a youth health and wellness and a youth diversion manager. The services that we could have. The agency that I work for is Unapologetically Black. We're considered a intersectional peer support behavioral health and wellness organization. Behavior health sits at the seat of most that affect our lives. And we can support in a major way. You can get therapy from us for free. Don't have to have insurance, but you can get therapy from a mind.
I can help you.
And so a lot of what we're talking about, some of that is rooted because working and being affiliated with social service for the last 30 years, the biggest problem that most people have is unresolved issues. And once you get to the core of that, it takes about 2 years to actually stabilize a person and get them on track and to be able to create a path, a safe passage for them. I'm really at this stage of life. I'm really big on creating safe passage for our youth, and it's going to take a team of all of us to be able to make that happen with all the support services. I like to think that we have the support services that support that. I do housing, but if I'm going to do housing, the thing that most important, I'm most concerned about is making sure that the folks my participants have living wage employment and on some kind of career path to be able to sustain their own housing. So that's a big piece. So it's important what we all do. I'm really big on leveraging.
Ted, put your contact information in the chat. We can follow up, please. And Colette, please.
All right. Good afternoon or morning, everyone. And Sharon, so great. Thank you for bringing that information on the infrastructure bill. I've been hearing about the EV, and so definitely want to help with that. And there were a couple of things I just wanted to share. One was a question that came up is it's not just children, but also some of our handy men and handy women that have been doing the work that need to be contractors. And so we do have a workshop, and we have an advisor that hand holds people through the certification process. Well, Bianca had shared how one of our SBDC advisors was very helpful in kind of grabbing her by the collar and saying, you need to be, licensed. And so how can we shift people that have the capacity, they're doing much of the work, how can we shift them over to make sure that they are licensed properly? So please see us, and we have an advisor to help. He has a heart for doing this, Michael Williams, one of our, he's a construction advisor, but he has a heart to help people move in that direction so that then they can take advantage of some of these opportunities as well. The second one is credit. Bianca, thank you for mentioning that. Because of the gap in credit, we are starting to offer starting in April a credit workshop, and we have an advisor who is certified and specialized to help people on the personal credit side, to your point, because your personal credit drives right into your business credit. And so we definitely see that gap, and we're starting a workshop, and we have a specialist in that area to be able to help. And that is starting in April. I'll put that into the chat. Then finally, funding. PCR is working with Meriwether Williams as well. So Sharon, thank you for mentioning that, to assist as many contractors as we can with funding, especially with these big opportunities coming. We know that money's going to be needed. Finally, the EOG, small, that's not a business, but it's a help, is these LA County grants for the micro businesses. That date has been extended to May 5th. And that's for the smallest grant. We'll be doing an in-person information at our Compton location at the Compton Farmers Market. Joseph Duncan, who will be there as one of our support and our advisors to help people if they need hands-on with any of those grants from LA County. So that's going to be hands-on helping people to get through that. So thank you for the time, appreciate it. And please see us. We can help you with your credit, the money, and then also get from handyman to contractor. Thank you.
And Colette, can I get that person on the business zone for April? We're doing financial literacy, and we are actually deemed on the business zone the month of April, Black Business Month, Men Black Business Month, because it doesn't appear to be one. And so if I can get that person on the business zone, but Ted, I want you on the business zone as well. We got 2 hours to entice and encourage and motivate our Black folks on the business zone. So love to have you guys. Ted, I put the link in the chat for you, and I will send it over to you, Ms. Colette. Okay. So guys, it has been another great briefing. Thank you, Deborah. Deborah says, indicated that in the chat. I believe, Renee, you had a question. We're going to round up. In the chat as well and I will put it again, is the link for you guys to go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. We really are wanting to grow our channel, and we need your help to do that. So please go over to the Community Briefing YouTube channel and just hit that subscribe button. Guys, it doesn't cost you anything. And every time I load a video on, you also find our archive of shows there. We're just asking for your support so that we can grow this channel And we need your help to do that. So it's actually in the chat already. So just hit that little, it's huge. It ain't even little. It's huge. Just scroll through the chat there and just click that and it'll take you straight to the channel. Hit the subscribe and make sure that happens. Okay, Renee, and then we're going to close out. And before we do that, Stephen, who's here next week?
Next week, we have Angela Reddick, licensed attorney, specialized in employment law as well as mitigation. So for any small business owner, you want to know how to avoid lawsuits and protect yourself, join us next Thursday, 11 a.m. for Angela Reddick, attorney at law.
Awesome, awesome. And Angela has been honored by everybody in Los Angeles. So please tune in. Miss Renee. You unmute.
Okay, Sharon, you still there?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to ask you more about the installation of broadband internet in rural areas. I have a young lady that does that, and I'd like to connect her to find out more about it and how she can get business through your organization.
Well, broadband, you have to be certified with the California Clearinghouse.
Okay.
To do that. And then she has to look and see where the opportunities are. I'm quite sure it will probably come up through either Frontier Communications. It could come from AT&T Communications. Those would be the avenues in which she does that.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're
Awesome,
welcome.
awesome. Miss Deborah, you had a question. You're saying, are the YouTube?
I watch more YouTube than anything these days, but I kind of heard one of the channels that I watch saying that their revenues are tied to us watching the channel and not bypassing the ads. So they even said, just turn it on in the background and let it loop. So if that's going to affect the community briefing, getting YouTube money from YouTube, we need to know that so that we can support you that way.
Yeah, that is the case, but we actually have to get the subscribers in order to even get you to monetize but yeah, first level is get the subscribers, and then next level is to get you to watch it. And it's great stuff, guys, and then share it with everybody, at least the first 15 minutes. And we'll have Armand come on and he'll explain to you how the YouTube and Google Sense and all that stuff works. And we'll actually have Armand come on and talk to you about how you make money on utilizing Google Sense. I am going to be using Armand so I can retire all of my people clients and just use digital clients from here on out, because I'm about tired of the human people. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm about ready to retire from human people and go into the digital world.
Yeah, sometimes it's easier to take the human component out of things. You know, it's not that fun of a business, but it's a lot easier.
Right. So we'll have Armand come on and give us a little lesson, and he has a great class that he does and a program that he's teaching you how to become a digital entrepreneur and make money while you sleep. So you guys might want to partake in that. So Armand, put your information in the chat. He does a weekly program. And that might be a way to increase or add some additional revenue streams to your coffers. Thank you, Deborah, for that question, and I appreciate that. So, but get our numbers up, and then we're going to monetize so that we can take this platform to the next level. That's our goal, is to make sure we're getting our story. And here's the thing, guys, and we're going to close out. If you guys are watching the news, there is a very conscious, and this is my word for 2023, and a very intentional movement to shut our message and our history down. It is our role, and our goal is to keep our information telling our story, doing our narratives that we can grow and prosper. They are being very intentional about their messaging. We need to be very intentional about ours. We cannot take the passive role. This is not about some Black people. It is about all Black people. If you happen to share the same skin color that I got going on, then we all got to be in this movement to protect our people, Black and brown, because there's a group of people that's very intentional about their movement. So that's all I'm going to say about it. Y'all can take it how you want it, or you can find another country that's going to be more embracing of you, because there's a group here that ain't quite embracing about you. So with that, guys, thank you guys for coming. Come next week. We got Angela Reddick coming on, and she's amazing and powerful. Bianca, congratulations. I heard you got an award last week.
From Rise, yeah.
From Rise. So awesome. So we have had an amazing month of incredible women that we've honored and celebrated. And we want to thank you guys for just being all of you women, for being just who you are. Continue to be who you are. You are the nurturers of us, of all of humanity. And we want to thank you. Guys, thank you. The men, thank you for supporting the women that are in your lives. And we also honor and uplift you guys. You're doing your thing. But ladies, it's been an amazing month. I've had a fantastic month with all the women. I couldn't even go to all of the events that was going on. I tried to do my part. So I did my part online, so I didn't have to leave my house too much. But I want to thank you all. Thank you, Sharon, for closing out March for us. It's been great. Thank you for sharing your birthday with us. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your birthday and be safe out there. And the other ladies, be safe. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
And for those of you going to GLAC tonight, I will see you tonight. Bye-bye.
Down, Crystal.
Oh, yeah. Let me take